Hey, greetings, everyone. Lieutenant Colonel Alan West here, and welcome to the Steadfast and Loyal podcast.
You gotta light 'em up before they burn it down. Better dig deep and put 'em in the ground. Blood on their hands, they're hellbound. Save us all. Ooh, they're gonna burn it down. Save us all before they burn it down.
You know, it's never too late to say it, but to my brothers and sisters of the Scarlet and Gold, the United States Marine Corps, I still want to say happy birthday to all the Marines out there. I had an incredible honor to pay tribute to the Marines down in Longview, Texas, their Marine Corps League birthday ball. And what a blast to be with about 70, 75 men and women who have served in the Marine Corps, and of course, their husbands and wives, to just share my sincere honor to have once served with the United States Marines in the 2nd Marine Expeditionary Force for 3 years. So thank you and happy birthday, Marines. And also happy Veterans Day. Every day should be Veterans Day. So I don't have any problem saying happy Veterans Day a week after Veterans Day, because veterans are out there every single day. We continue to serve, to protect, to support, and defend the Constitution of the United States of America. That's if you believed in that oath. And speaking of believing in that oath, speaking of understanding that we live in the longest running constitutional republic that the world has ever known, Thanksgiving is coming up. And I know, and I've talked to some folks and they say, hey, Colonel, what do I talk about at Thanksgiving? Well, I think if it's your house, you talk about whatever the Sam Hill you want to talk about. And I think it's important we reflect upon this, because who was it that came up and told us that there are certain things you can't talk about at family gatherings? You know, you just need to try to sidestep these things. And I think that that's where we are losing the essence of who we are in this country. Because one side will come out and they'll force their conversations on you. But, the other side, we just want to kind of, not rock the boat or anything like that. And so when I think about Thanksgiving conversations, I always carry my little 3x5 cards. And this was something that I recently shared with people. And I want to share it with you all, because I think that this talks about where we are in the United States of America when it comes to conversations. The uncontested absurdities of today are the accepted slogans of tomorrow. They come to be accepted by degrees, by dint of constant pressure on one side and constant retreat on the other, until one day when they are suddenly declared to be the country's official ideology. It was written in the 1950s by Ayn Rand. See, when you say, let's not talk about this, let's not talk about that, the other side will. I mean, if I ever came home during Thanksgiving, my mom and dad, and I said, I don't want to discuss this stuff, dad or mom, or, here's what my professor said. And I think my professor has a better perspective than you. He's a little bit smarter, dad, because you didn't go to college. You served in World War II, but you didn't go to college. So my professor is pretty smart. And I will tell you that at the University of Tennessee, my advisory professor, I got a degree in political science. He was a Marxist. Wow. University of Tennessee, 1979 to 1983. Now, perhaps young Alan West could have come home and start talking to his dad about Marxism and all this type of stuff and how great it is, from each according to their ability, to each according to their need. That dog didn't hunt. Chances are, if I had showed up at Thanksgiving and start telling my dad, this, that, and the other about Dr. Gorman, who was my advisor, my dad would have said, "You go eat Thanksgiving dinner with Dr. Gorman." So why is it that we have all of a sudden gotten to a point where we don't want to have these conversations? We don't want to have the an intellectual exchange. Cut a piece of turkey, eat a little bit of green bean casserole, make sure you get your dressing. I like fried turkey. And then just interject some points and discuss those points. Like, I think one of the big things that you all should discuss at your Thanksgiving table, it doesn't have to be a food fight. Now, if it turns into a food fight, chances are it's because someone doesn't have the intellectual capacity to be able to debate these points or discuss these points. They just want to shut you up. Well, I'm just going to leave. I don't want to be here. I don't want to, have dinner with you. Okay, bye. More turkey for me or ham. But this buzzword today, this very interesting. All of a sudden, the Marxist left wants to talk about affordability. I mean, that's the big word. To the point where now you've got President Trump, you got Republicans, everybody talking about affordability. I mean, once again, they have found a way to steal the narrative. Even coming out of this Schumer shutdown silliness, where they inflicted so much pain on the American people, now they're once again trying to dominate the conversation, dominate the narrative. Affordability. Where were these leftists? I'm not saying Democrats because that term doesn't mean anything. Where were these leftists when during the Biden administration, inflation in America went up to 9.1%? 9.1%. Did not hear a thing about affordability.